Good day friends, and welcome to another episode. Today promises to be very interesting. What we're going to do today is to compare the ballistics and the penetration ability of different rounds, different calibers and different bullets loaded into these calibers. So what we've got here today is a comparison with between the 303 British, the 243 Winchester and the 9.3 by 62 Mauser. Now to start off with, let's look at what I've got here in terms of 303 British. These are all reloaded rounds, ammunition that I've reloaded. So this one has been loaded with a .312 Hornady bullet, 150 grain Hornady interlock bullet. You will see that the shape of this bullet is quite pointy, it's quite sharp. So because it's a 312, it creates a little bit more pressure in the chamber. So this bullet shoots at 2,700 feet per second. Next, I've got a PMP, which is a local manufacturer here in South Africa. PMP bullet, also 150 grain, different shape. Now interestingly, my 303 does not shoot very well with factory loaded 150 grain bullets, but with the PMP 150 grain I managed to develop quite an accurate load for it. So this bullet groups at 1 inch at 100 meters. Next bullet I've got here is also a 312. This is also very popular and I like it a lot. We do a lot of hunting with this. 174 grain Hornady interlock bullet, round nose. Also a .312, whereas all the other bullets that I've used for 303 is a .311 inch. So this is a .312. It'll be very interesting to see the penetration on this one. This one shoots at 2,400 feet per second. Next is a 180 grain Sierra Pro Hunter. Also very tough, very strong bullet. Cup and core bullet, traditional type of bullet, but at the speeds of a 303, it is quite sufficient to shoot anything up to eland size with it. So this one shoots at just under 2,400 feet per second. Now this bullet here is just interesting. It's a test that we wanted to do. This is a PPU, Privy Partisan bullet, a round loaded with a full metal jacket boat tail bullet. Very similar to the machine gun war ammo that you used to get. The normal military bullets for infantry, they were not. These are one of them that I've pulled earlier. This one is quite similar, except the ones for the SMLE was not a boat tail bullet. The boat tails were used in the machine guns. So I'm going to shoot this bullet because the closest you can buy nowadays factory loads to military bullets, and I want to see the penetration of this. We've tested this, chronographed it. It's about also 2,400 feet per second. We're going to compare that with 243 Winchester. Much faster, much smaller. First that I've got here is 100 grain loaded with 100 grain Sierra Pro Hunter. This is our favorite for hunting when we hunt with a specific rifle and caliber. Very strong, very tough bullet and extremely accurate. You will see that it's quite long and quite a long bearing surface. This one shoots at 3,100 feet per second. Next to that, we're testing 100 grains Pro-Am bullet, PMP Pro-Am bullet. So the Pro-Am bullets, and you'll see I use a Pro-Am bullet there in the 9.3 by 62 as well, has got two different types of lead in it. The front part of the lead inside the core there is a softer lead, and the bottom part is a tougher, harder lead, and that one normally stays intact. So it'll be interesting to see the penetration of that bullet. Next bullet there is a old type cup and core bullet, soft point, 80 grains. Also PMP, but similar to other cup and core soft point bullets that you find. 80 grains, let's compare that. Fourth one in the 243 lineup is Hornady SST 95 grains. You'll see that it's got a red polymer tip. This one shoots at about 3,000 feet per second. It'll be interesting to see if this could stay intact. Now let's go to the big brother. First of all, this one here is a Hornady 286 soft point recoil proof bullet. You will see that even though it's a soft point, let me see if I can get the focus on here, that the metal casing goes to the top. This protects the point of the bullet in the magazine. You'll also see that I loaded it out a little bit because it's quite a long bullet. This is a bullet that goes deep into the case, and my 9.3, the lands are far away from the chamber. There's quite a big jump there, so it is easy for me to load it out a bit to get more powder into the case. Very accurate, shoots at about 2,100 feet per second. Then what we've got here is a 232 Norma Oryx bullet loaded in here. This one is a bonded bullet, so it'll be interesting to see what this does. This one runs at 2,550 feet per second. This one here is my personal favorite. Also round nose bullet, PMP, like I said, PMP Pro-Am bullet. Soft front part, soft lead, and a harder, tougher lead at the bottom. Soft lead and the round point actually helps it to expand very quickly. This thing is like a steam train. It's a cannon. When it hits game animals, big animals like blue wildebeest, it just throws it over. This is a brilliant caliber, and this round nose bullet in 286 grains is what actually gave this caliber the legendary reputation that it built up through the years. Brilliant bullet. So let's see how this thing penetrates. I'm just going to show you some of the bullets that I have here. This is the one that I just showed you. I loaded up to the canalure there, and it goes deeper in than what the neck is. So also quite a long bullet, but because it's round nose, not as long as the Hornady. I've already showed you these two. So what I've got here, this is the 150 grain PMP 303 British bullet. Very accurate. It is the length of the bullet from the toe here to the canalure is exactly the length of the neck in my fire formed cases in my 303, as is this one, the round nose 174 Hornady interlock bullet. A great bullet. Right, so I'm going to show you the dry pack that we made up with magazines into a squashed into a cardboard box very tightly. So it's quite a tough medium to do ballistic testing in. But this is Africa and we need these bullets to be tough, so we're testing them in a tough medium. Right, here we are with a cardboard box and a bunch of glossy magazines pushed in here very tightly. This is a very tight pack. So this promises to be a test of toughness of these bullets and penetration. So what I'll do is we'll come in from the one side with the 303 and the 243, and you know that it'll be quite crowded by then, all the bullet holes. So I'll come in from the opposite side with a 9.3 by 62, and then we measure the penetration from entry point to where we find the bullet, or whatever is left of the bullet. Great, so now let's get off to the shooting range and have some fun. You will see myself, my son and my brother shooting there, and you will see our rifles that we're using for this test. Talk to you later then. Right, back from a great day at the range. So let's have a look at what we've got here in terms of penetration. I'm starting here from the opposite side. These books are stuck. They're so tightly packed, so it's easier for me to start from this side. The first 9.3 entry hole there is the Hornady. That one is the PMP, and then the normal Oryx. So I've got the first book out. Interesting to look at the entry holes. The PMP, a much cleaner cut entry hole than the other two because of the round nose, but on the opposite side they're quite similar. So let's see when we take out more of these. They're tight. PMP now expanded much bigger because of the round nose. Very interesting. So this is about 10 centimeters in. And it joined these books together. Here we go. Nothing went past this point. Very interesting. You'll see the PMP in the middle, much bigger hole because of the round nose bullet, and the softer point. The other two still very similar. Cracked there. Damage. That seems to be the normal oryx with the deepest damage there. And let's see how deep that is. About 10 to 12 centimeters into these books. If you measure the bump here, it's 12. If you compress the books again, it's 10 centimeters. Let's see what we find. There's what's left of the normal oryx bonded bullet. Very impressive. Went through quite a lot. Let's see how it destroyed these books. It really joined them together here. Look at what the 3 bullets did to this pack. Some lead coming out there. This seems to be leftovers of the PMP bullet, the Pro-Am bullet. A cup there. Let's measure where we found this one. Seven centimeters in. But it pushed it out another 2 centimeters. Looks as if the Hornady bullet totally disintegrated, because it definitely penetrated through here, but there's no sign of a bullet. Alright, very interesting. The Hornady bullet, nowhere to be found. There you go. That's what is left of the casing of the Hornady. So the Hornady bullet went very similarly to what the PMP bullet did. Performed the same. Interesting. Let's have a look at the other side of the box. Right, it seems as if the 174 grain PPU full metal jacket damaged this pack of books to a depth of 220 millimeters, 22 centimeters. Let's remove that and let's see if we can find the bullet. You can still see the damage there. And as we go deeper in, the damage is worse. Let's see if we can find that bullet. There's something dropping in the box there. Very interesting. There's the deformed point of the 174 grain PPU bullet. One of the reasons why you should never use this bullet for hunting, but look at the penetration it has in such a hard medium. Amazing. Another piece, the back part of the bullet. You can see the bullet this deep in. The bullet has not deformed that much yet, so it's still penetrating at a good pace. Right, now here we are starting to get the 100. We're getting more bullets coming through here. Very interesting. Now let me see this side. The 150 grain PMP bullet and the 180 grain Sierra seems to show themselves here. And this side, the 243 penetrated the same distance, 100 grain Sierra and 100 grain PMP Pro-Am. This is extremely interesting. Different speeds, very hard medium, and the 243 is living up. There's a 243, that's the 303 PPU, and there's a 303 breaking through. This is a 243 bullet. Let me see what it is. 100 grain PMP Pro-Am. Amazing. Amazing. .150 grain PMP soft point bullet in the 303. The penetration of those two, 10 centimeters. Alright, so it seems to me that I misjudged this one that I showed you that came out here. This is actually the 180 grain Sierra. The 150 grain, here it is. The 150 grain PMP. There's a 180 grain Sierra. So the Sierra just went an inch deeper into this pack as a 150 grain PMP bullet. Very, very interesting. Let's carry on. Yeah, these bullets, they had to work very hard to penetrate this deep. Let me see what this one is. Came out in the middle there. 100 grain Sierra. 243 bullet. 100 grain Sierra. Look at that expansion. It's amazing. Now we're going to find most of them. Pieces of lead coming out there at the bottom. And you can just see that these books were utterly destroyed. Alright, so it seems to me that these bullets all penetrated to this depth. So it's 80 millimeters, 8 centimeters. So they all went into this hard type of a medium for 8 centimeters. And if you add their destruction together, they basically obliterated these books. It's totally destroyed. And some of the lighter construction bullets just disintegrated. There is a piece of lead that I could find from the 2,700 feet per second Hornady 150 grain interlock soft point bullet. Interesting, the round hole that the 174 grain PPU still made. That's the 100 grain Sierra Pro Hunter. Okay, so if we look at this here, very interesting how the expansion happened. These are 303 rounds, these are the 243 rounds, how they expanded into these books. Here is already here you can see the expansion here. Let me just tell you what rounds there are. That one is 150 grain PMP. That's 180 grain Sierra. 150 grain Hornady. 174 grain Hornady. Again, round nose. Look at the difference. Just as what we found in the 9.3. Expands much quicker. A bigger hole there. Then 174 grain PPU. 100 grain Sierra. 100 grain Pro-Am. 80 grain, look at how much that expanded, PMP, and then this is a 95 grain SST. Look at the big hole it's making. So you can see the SST behaves just similar to what it was made to do. It expands extremely quickly because of the polymer tip, and it almost has a similar diameter hole here than what the 303 174 Hornady has. Amazing. And this is an inch and a half into the books this happened. The SST bullet I found 9 centimeters in. When I compress it, measure it, it's 9 centimeters in. And what is left of the SST bullet, the jacket, is amazing actually. Such a quick expanding bullet, and it still penetrates 9 centimeters into this very, very hard medium. Hornady, well done. PMP 80 grain soft point 243 bullet, also penetrated 8 to 9 centimeters into this pack. Yeah, not bad for such a small bullet. It's actually a varmint bullet, can be used for springbok hunting. This is actually very, very informative to see how far these things can penetrate and can do damage. Very similar to what the 95 grain SST already did. What is interesting to note with a 9.3 by 62 is this phenomenal wound channel. This is now about 5 inches in. So if I removed an inch there and we look at 4 inches in, you will see that strangely enough the oryx penetrated the furthest but has got the smallest wound channel, whereas the PMP and the Hornady has got a 1 inch, even more than an inch wound channel. Interestingly as well is to note how these holes actually split into star shapes as the petals of the bullets expand in a star shape when they enter this medium. It's a very tough medium, but here you can see why this caliber is such a good hunting caliber. If we look at this book here, this is 2.5 inches in, and look at the star shapes there and the penetration. All three these bullets are definitely DRT bullets, and they will drop an animal right there. All this energy will go straight into the vital zone of an animal. Very interesting and very efficient.